From there. Avatar. Jai Baba ki Jai. Avatar. Jai Baba ki Jai.
Avatar,
Jai.
Over to you, Pratap ji. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, everybody. So we start. Most of you must have either read about or heard about what I intend to tell you today. It's a very touching story of one of Baba's Mandali. At different books or somewhere, I read it long back, but then I had to revise by going through the latest books. But then what I found is that the story which I had read earlier seems to be a little different from this one. And there are some controversies also about the dates or the year. Anyway, we'll discuss everything because it will be nice. We just exchange our information with each other. That is the intention of today's subject. The subject which I intend to take today is about a great man by name Gustaji. Gustaji Hansotia. It's a very, very, very special person in Baba's Mandali. Very special person. And how we are coming to that, why he was said to be a special person and how he is a special person. Gustaji comes from a small village by name Hansot, and that is in Gujarat. Gujaratis, they speak, in Gujarat, people speak Gujarati. But the Gujarati is spoken by Parsis and original Gujaratis. There is a little difference in their pronunciations and their some wordings also. Anyway, I have come across this Gujarati language because of Baba. In Baba's group, many people used to talk in Gujarati among themselves, and so we used to hear that. And then I had now fairly good language and good knowledge about this language. Anyway, that is not our subject. Today, this man Gustaji, he was born, a very significant thing which I tell you is he was born on 20th February 1890. Note down the date, 20th February 1890. Meher Baba was born on 25th of February 1894. A very close difference in their birth dates. And about 4 years, Gustaji is elder to Baba. This Gustaji was sent to Bombay. Bombay is called Mumbai nowadays. I may use both the terms, so don't get puzzled. He was sent to Bombay to his aunt for the education purposes. And he studied up to 3rd standard and thereafter he left the school. And then he was, not very much interested in studying. So he took up so many jobs. First job he took up was in a government department, very famous department, excise department. But thereafter, he left that job. Then again, he uh, accepted some private job, and that is why he was just pulling on. The story which I want to especially point out is Gustaji was never interested in his masters. The reason is why I say so, and it is because it is based. My say is based on some book which I have read. Why I say so? Because Gustaji's friend was a follower of Sai Baba, very ardent Sai Baba, and he very often every month he used to go to Sai Baba, and every time he comes back, he will just uh, tell Gustaji, why don't you come once, at least come once with me and take Sai Baba's darshan? But Gustaji was refusing flatly. And then that friend once he said that if you are not interested in Sai Baba, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I won't insist for that. But at least come as a picnic. Let us go as a picnic. And to this, of course, Gustaji agreed, and both of them go to Shirdi. When they go to Shirdi, they go to Sai Baba's Darbar. This was the first time Gustaji is seeing Sai Baba. Sai was sitting with so many people amongst those people, giving his darshan and conversing with so many people. He was in a very good mood. And the story goes that when Sai Baba looked at Gustaji, he gestured as if very old friend of him has met him now. He is meeting him now. And he very lovingly calls Gustaji close to him and makes him sit just by by his side at his feet, very near to him. The gesture of Sai Baba was such that Gustaji was possessed by that gesture, and he was so very, it has so very touched his heart that thereafter, when they returned to Bombay, Gustaji went to the owner with whom he was working. He said that now I don't want to continue my job. Whatever amount I was just collecting with you, I was paying with you, keeping with you. I would like to have it back and then for my own expenditure. And I am going to stay with Sai Baba at Shirdi. What Gustaji thought that Sai Baba had such a nice welcome to him, and that has impressed him so much that he left the job. Wow. Whatever he was accumulated with that owner of that company, he took all that money and without giving any second thought to his decision, he came to Shirdi. Now look at the the way the perfect masters treat his, his, his poor followers. Now, this is now second time Gustaji comes to Shirdi, and very happily he goes to Sai Darbar. And the same way Sai Baba is sitting among so many people, taking darshan and conversing with Sai Baba. And Gustaji very politely goes there. But what happened is Sai Baba just so ignorance about his person, as if he is a quite new person and he has never seen this person. Earlier, first time when Gustaji met him, he was so very loving to him, Gustaji. He welcomed him so very lovingly. He made him sit by his side. And now, when second time he goes there, he ignores him completely. What a how what a method of treating the lovers. Now, but Gustaji was determined. Perhaps he sat there the whole day, and thereafter he stayed in a dharmashala, or what you call a asylum, and he used to take food outside, then come and every day without fail. Right from the time Sai Baba meets with his people, Gustaji will be sitting there. The whole time he will be sitting without returning a word, without expecting anything. And then he will, after Sai Baba goes inside, then he will go to his place and there he will live there. Now, whatever amount he had brought with him, he was taking food, and that is how he was maintaining himself. But then there is no earning, there is no income. Everything is outgoing. And that money was getting exhausted. And it was, Gustaji was finding it difficult to maintain himself. So what he did was, instead of taking meals twice in a day, he started taking meal only once a day. Just to save money, money is not sufficient, so that economy was necessary for him. And even after that, instead of one meal one day, he started taking one meal for 2 days.
Wow.
And thereafter, he started taking meal for 3 days. He will just go to a public tap, he will drink water and come and sit before Sai Baba. And that Sai Baba, great Sai Baba, is not ready to even look at him. And it went on. If he was actually starving, he was starving. And just imagine what difficult situation he must be in. But then once it so happened, now this man, Gustaji, is passing very hard life. His clothes are torn, but somehow he is managing. He is not worried about his clothes. But even for food, he is not getting, he is not having sufficient money to take food. And he's just starving like that. But he's not going to leave from that place. Every day, his practice will be to go and sit in the darbar of Sai Baba. And after Sai Baba goes inside, come back and stay at your place. Now, it so happened that once what happened that one rich person from Sai Baba's followers, very ardent follower of Sai Baba, he came to Sai Baba. He came to Sai Baba and he's telling Sai Baba that I want to feed the people. I want to feed villagers. All that villages of Shirdi, he wants to feed them. He wants one-time meal he wants to give. It is called Gav Jeevan, means food to all that village. That is called Gav Jeevan in Marathi. So he wanted to give that. He was a moneyed person, having a good lot of money, and he wanted to have that noble thing to do by himself. And then he is requesting Sai Baba that this is I intend to do. Please allow me to do that. And Sai Baba just like a fire, he shouts on him, my own people are starving there and you want to give food to the whole village. You are talking about the village. My own people are starving without uttering anybody's name.
Yeah.
Without uttering anybody's name, Sai Baba says that my own people are starving here and you want to give the food for the whole village. Then the person was surprised. And then they start, and Sai Baba is not going to say, disclose the name. That person, that rich person, he collected some other people also, and they wanted to find out as to who can be that person about whom Sai Baba had referred to. And they found that this poor Gustaji was starving there. And then they made a permanent arrangement for his food. They made a permanent arrangement for his food.
Wow.
Now, Meher Baba met Sai Baba in the year 1915 or so. In the Lord Mayor, what I read is that yes, Mayor one met Sai Baba in the 1915, and it was our seniors used to tell us that Gustaji was the one who had heard Sai Baba saying that, oh Parvatika.
Parvatika.
Yes. And that witness was Gustaji. That is what we have heard from the elderly people. And here the controversy is that in the book it is said that Gustaji met Meher Baba in 1970. Meher Baba met Sai Baba in 1915. And Gustaji made Mirwan in 1917, 2 years after. So where is the question of Gustaji being the witness? That is one big question before us. Because all these things, they are likely to come in future. When the people read it, they will find out some mistakes and then all that thing will happen. But anyway, leaving aside that, but thereafter, in 1918, on 16th of October, when Sai Baba dropped his body, Gustaji was there. He was very much there. And the whole ceremony of burial and everything, he had attended himself. But then he went to Upasani Maharaj. See the inclination of his whole mind. He is so much inclined to remain with the masters. Now Sai Baba, after Sai Baba dropped his body, Upasani Maharaj was staying with Sai Baba in Shirdi itself, in that Khandoba temple. But then Gustaji was not staying with Upasani Maharaj. He simply used to go at times and meet Upasani Maharaj, that's all. But when Sai Baba dropped his body, then of course Gustaji joined Upasani Maharaj. And with Upasani Maharaj also, he had suffered a very hard time. Very hard time. He one incident given that one Upasni Maharaj was so very angry with Gustaji, and he took a big can and he started beating so much that that can was broken to pieces. He beat him so much. But he was bearing all these hardships silently. It's a very important to note that one who goes to this path of love for the spiritual life, what hardship that person has to undergo. Ultimately, he goes to Upasini Maharaj, and Upasini Maharaj tells him that nothing is left with me now. You have to go to Merwan. And Merwan was in Pune. Merwan was running a tadi shop. Merwan had already returned from, he had in long contact with Upasni Maharaj. Thereafter, they opened a tadi shop, and all that people meeting at one place and all that happened there in Kasba Pit. That is the Kasba Pit. That time, Merwan wrote to Upasni Maharaj that you send Gustaji to me, I will get him employed somewhere. And Upasni Maharaj asked Gustaji to go to Merwan and stay with him and obey him. Obey him. That is the foremost thing that he directed. And accordingly, Gustaji comes and stays with Merwan in Pune. Now, see the hardship of spiritual life. It's a really torture. It is really dying every moment. What Mere Baba gave him a job was the whole day he was attending the tadi shop, which was owned by Merwan and Bairamji in partnership. Gustaji was doing every type of work, cleaning the table, cleaning the utensils, then all that vomits and this. It was such a dirty work, every type of work he was doing there in the tadi shop of Merwan. And Merwan had opened that small room wherein all spiritual lectures he used to give, and he used to sing, and they used to have programs and all that. People from Kasbapet, they were attracted towards Merwan. So Gustaji's duty was, Gustaji, what he used to do is he used to spare time there in that temple, cleaning everything and then chanting artis, sitting in a meditation. And he was spending spare time there. Now, in spite of that, in spite of this, because there is no place for Gustaji to sleep at night.
Mm.
There is no place for Gustaji to sleep at night. Merwan, it tells him to go and attend to Babajan during night. Whatever she needs, he has to look after her. And that Babajan, my God, Babajan, her day used to start in the night. The whole, he will go on roaming here and there, and he has to follow her, and then whatever she wants, he has to just bring her. If she wants her wanted to press her feet, he will do that. To scratch her back, he will do that. Every type of work he will do for Babajan. Now this scene, once it so happened that Gustaji felt that Babajan is staying, she is sleeping in all that dust on the roadside. She is sleeping on that dust. So we should have a better place for her to sit on and then sleep also. So once he tells Merwan that Babajan, I wish that Babajan should get at least better place to sleep or to sit on. And then what Merwan says, they're very tricky people, all these Parvagunas are very tricky. What Merwan says, you have to ask Babajan. If it's for you, for her, then I will pay for it. And accordingly, wooden platform was made first. Thereafter, after quite some time, she had again another thought, Gustaji, that she doesn't have any mattress and all that. So we should have a good mattress for her so that she can comfortably sit and sleep there. And he again goes to Merwan, and Merwan says the same thing. You ask her if she suits her, then I can make arrangement for that. And a mattress was made for her the very first day. Now, what Babajan says, is, now you have brought this mattress for me. Now you have to take this on your head and follow me. And follow me. But over and above, what happened is that very first day it was so very heavily raining. The whole mattress got wet.
Oh, no.
And he had to lift that wet mattress on his head. And that day, Babajan was not at one place. She was going throughout the city. And this poor fellow was carrying that mattress had become so very heavy because of the rains, the rainy water. Yes. And then ultimately that was spoiled, that was torn and everything. Then he never opened this topic thereafter. This is the place, this is the way of treatment of all these poetry masters. Now, there is one thing very important is that during Baba's stay in that Jhopadi, Ferguson Road Jhopadi, there was a hut which was built for Merwan. And Merwan he has stayed there for about 7 months. Thereafter, from there, they all walked to Manzilim. But during that hut, the stay at hut, it is said that Baba had put Gustaji's picture on the wall, and he used to garland it every day. See, in that Ferguson Road Jhopadi hut, Baba had hung one Gustaji's picture, Gustaji's photo, and every day he used to garland that. How we can understand the working of these great masters. But then Baba used to like him. Gustaji was so very simple. All his tendency, all his inclination was towards serving the perfect masters and remembering God. And he started staying with Mir Baba. I will tell you one beautiful story about Gustaji's stay with Mir Baba. What had happened that there was a quarrel. There was a quarrel in between these two dumb. Gustaji was also observing silence.
Oh, right.
Complete silence. Complete silence.
Yeah.
Complete silence. So Gustaji was also obviously Merwa. So look at the conversation. Mer Baba is displeased with Gustaji, and Gustaji is arguing his own case. How the scenery you can imagine how the scene could be. What Baba says that More than once I have told you that whenever I give you some order, you have to carry it out without any question, without any doubt, without any concession, without any option. That Mer Baba is repeating the same thing before Gustaji. But you are a person, that is what Baba says to Gustaji. You are a person who is always harassing me by breaking my orders. In fact, I feel that you are deliberately doing it. And you do exactly what I don't want you to do. Exactly opposite to that. And you are just irritating me. I cannot control my anger. And what poor Gustaji says, all you masters are of the same nature. All are very harassing nature. I was with Sai Baba. My life was with Sai Baba was not very happy life. I have starved there for days and days, months. But I never left him. I remained there. On my side, I was very faithful. Thereafter, I was sent to Upasni Maharaj. Upasni Maharaj was of the same nature. He had also harassed me so much. So much, it was in fact unbearable for anybody and who would have run away from there. But I didn't do that. I just tolerated everything. Because after all, they are great masters. And thereafter, I came to you. I thought you will do something better than those people. But no, you are also the same nature. You are also of the harassing nature. And Baba repeatedly says, why you don't follow my orders then? Tell me why you don't follow my orders. When I give you orders, you have to follow them. This is the prime condition to stay with a perfect master. And you are always breaking my orders. You are going against my wish. And still then you argue that we are harassing you. And Gustaji again tells the same thing. And what was the cause? What was the cause of that hot argument? The cause was Baba wanted Gustaji to swallow this much big vessel of ghee, pure ghee.
Oh.
He has to just drink it and swallow it, which was not even, he was nauseating for him.
Yeah.
Because he felt like vomiting. And he was avoiding, then Baba was getting upset. That was the cause for this. But believe me, Gustaji was a very nice person. He was so simple, so very simple. He had a torn shirt and a very simple coat, and then his pants were having patches and all that. But my God, that face comes to me by my eyes. We could not talk with him, just say, Jai Baba was not in use then. We had never used to say Jai Baba. Yes. And he was just very smiling person, very nice person. Only when argument comes, then he will not, he will just push up himself in argument. He will try to win that argument. And this was the cause in between them. This Gujaji, a very dear person, when he passed away, that was in Mehrabad. Her Baba was in Mumbai then. And that news was given to Mer Baba in Mumbai. Mer Baba dropped tears. Unusual, very much unusual. For nobody, Mer Baba has dropped tears. But because this Gustaji passed away, he dropped tears. Thereafter, Baba had come to Guruprasad, and we are sitting before Baba. Baba just reminded us about Gustaji. What he said that I have lost my companion. I wept because I have lost my companion. Now, the question is, everybody is Baba's companion. Erich is Baba's companion. This Vishnu Master is there, all these Adi Kirani, all these companions. But that companionship was observing silence. Both were observing silence. I think Gustaji had started 1 year after Mirwan. But a wonderful person. Now, the question comes that this path of love, if you really love God and enter into the path of love, it is not walking on the petals of roses. It is walking on the thorns of roses. You must have a courage. In the history of whole spirituality, you will hardly find a person who has taken to the path of love for God. He has suffered. Take the case of Tukaram. Take the case of Jnaneshwar. Take the case of Kabir. Take the case of Mirabai. All they have suffered. All they have suffered. They have suffered in every aspect of life. They were thrown out of the society. Actually, people have shown cruelty towards this. I had read one book on Jnaneshwar. These 4 young brothers, 1 sister and 3 brothers. They had to walk the other village for begging for food. They were not taking cooked food. In Marathi, it is called madhukari. It's a respectable food that is offered to people who are on the path of in the field of spirituality, but they cannot maintain themselves. So this sort of a begging is very respectable begging. And this young boy in the hot sun, he used to walk about 10 miles from there and then get food, whatever food he collects there. There was one friend of his mother in that village. She used to very lovingly take this boy, and she wants to feed this boy there and there only, but he will not take that food. She will bring the whole thing to his elder brother, and then they will all cook food and they'll all partake food together. So this is the life, spiritual life. And in Baba's field also, why I take this subject today is because Gustaji's example is so very powerful. The whole life, Gustaji's whole life was full of misery, very miserable life. But then he had stick on to that. He had stick on to that. He's perhaps the masters may be having grip over him. We are talking, we are thinking from each side. But there is another side that the master may be having the grip on them. Otherwise, every master recognizes. There is a question why Baba was garlanding Gustaji's picture in that furniture jhopdi. Because there may be a connection between Sai Baba, Upasni Maharaj and Meher Baba. That responsibility of that soul has been handed over by Shirdi Sai Baba to Upasni Maharaj, by Upasni Maharaj to Meherban Baba. And Baba, what had happened about that, we do not know. But I am sure that he must have got his due. I'll be singing one small song. I mean, it is 8:45, no? About round about.
Pratap, I
Yes.
wanted to ask a question about Gustaji. Now, Baba brought Gustaji to the United States in 1952. You don't hear about it, but Elizabeth Patterson told me I was staying in a cabin at the Mayhair Center, and she says Gustaji used to sit on his bed and wait to hear Baba's clap.
Oh.
And then he'd come and be with Baba. But he was there. You don't hear about that. But he came to the United States. Yeah. And the only way I would know is because Elizabeth, she says he was there, he wasn't talking, and he was just sit on his bed waiting for Baba's clap. Yeah. So what about his role? I mean, he had the shadow role. I've heard that Gustaji, because he was silent like Baba.
Yes.
It was a certain role that he was performing as a Mandali.
Mm-hmm.
It must be a very important role. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good to hear. So good to hear about him.
There are many funny incidents also about this Gustaji. Once it so happened that they were traveling in a train, and Vishnu Master was in charge of all the luggage. He has to see that all that now they used to move in groups. So all that luggage of that group, a man to manage, is a very difficult task. And if the train is crowded, then of course it is adding to their difficulties. But once it so happened that somehow 2-3 people, now all these people very strong people, so they have loaded that entire luggage in that train, and then train started, and somebody just said that where is Gustaji? They have started searching where is Gustaji, and they came to Baba and said that Baba, Gustaji is not seen anywhere. Baba says, I will search for him because he one thing that he doesn't talk, and then he is lost. Then that will be causing problems for us. So just search for him, and they were very desperately searching in the train itself, and what they found that in a big heap of luggage, Gustaji was behind that luggage. he was not been seen by anybody. There was some sound, and thereafter somebody pointed at that Gustaji is sitting there. He was taken out from there and brought to him. Also, one another funny incident which happened was a train stopped on the way. It was not a station, it was stopped in between the thing. And then there was some problem, and then Gustaji had a feeling to urinate. And then Baba asked somebody to take him a little bit aside and let him urinate there. At the same time, the driver of the engine, he had also come down for passing urine. And then somehow these two people, Gustaji and the driver, they meet each other. And then the driver was surprised. He was very curiously looking at Gustaji. He is not talking. And that was a little bit very surprising fact for him. He was very keenly watching him. And Gustaji was just gesturing something. And people were worried why the train is not starting. And Baba's people, they are also worried why this Gustaji is not coming back, because that if the train starts, he will be left out behind. But then somebody pointed out that Gustaji is talking with the engine driver. It is like no likelihood of train starting right now. So there are once it happened that Gustaji had a very hot argument with Mer Baba, and Eraj was the interpreter for both of them. And by mistake or by inadvertently, Eraj had said that I have to deal with two dumb people.
Oh God.
And afterwards, Baba took Eraj to task. How you could say that I am a dumb? You have lived with me for all these years. Still, how dare you say that?
Okay.
Said, I was very fed up with interpreting.
Oh no.
Baba just forgo you. There are some funny incidents about Gustaji. Very wonderful man. We had opportunity to see these people. They were great people. I had never seen him in a good clothes. Never. Very simple clothes. Very simple clothes.
So how many times did you get a chance to meet Gustavji, Pratapji? How many times?
Myself?
Yeah.
Many times did sahavas programs, so many times.
Oh,
many times.
Yeah.
Many.
Did he have any conversation with you in silence?
There was no conversation. In fact, we used to stand near him. We used to stand near him. But then we were unable to understand what he wants to say. And he will just smile at us. One thing about all these Baba's Mandali, anybody who is loving, suppose the young people outside, he is loving Baba, then they will be very happy with such person. Our Poona group was totally loving Baba. They had no other God in their minds. They had dedicated all their art and everything to Baba. And that is why all the Mandali people, including Gustaji, they were very lovingly receiving us.
Yeah.
Other people used to talk very lovingly, even Mani and some of the ladies who were allowed to come out, they also had a very good conversation. Very good. Yes. In fact, after Baba dropped his body, Mehra also used to very lovingly talk this. The reason is only Meher Baba, because we used to fully dedicated to Meher Baba. And these people, all during all the Savas program, we were very young then. We will help in various ways, all the senior people, in cleaning the vegetables and then spreading the carpets or the arranging the tables and then serving the food. Everything we used to do. Once it so happened that now this has come to my mind. Once, I think it was in 1955 Savas, we nobody has asked us to do that work, but then we ourselves already used to do that. Once it so happened that everybody was taken their seats for taking food, and we were serving the food. After we served the food, everybody took the food, and we were actually sat on the tables to have food, just to start. And there was a call from Mir Baba. Baba was sitting in that Mandali hall, and the pendulum was just adjacent to that Rahuri cabin, that area. And the Mandali hall, Baba was sitting. And people say that Baba is holding that meeting now. We left that food and went inside. And we sat there without uttering anything. We sat there. And then Chagan Master came. And Chagan Master said that, Baba, it was a food time, and some of the boys who are sitting here, they have done the volunteership of serving the food. And they were just about to take their own food. You had called for the meeting. So they have left that food and they have come and sat here. So Baba asked me, who are those people? Who are those boys? Come and stand up. So 3-4 people were there. We stood up. Baba said, go and take your food and come back. So we hurriedly went there. We took the food and came back. In that time, the subject which was to be dealt by Baba, he had kept pending. This is very point, a very notable point. What your Sarji Baba was to talk about, that he had set aside and he was just gossiping with the people. And only after we came here, Baba asked, have you taken food? Yes. Then he started it. That means now we were not very so much wise to understand all the things which were told by Baba at that time. We were very young then. But then those words should go on our ears. Some sort of vibrations or whatever you may call it. But that Baba had kept it pending until we came back. So there are such beautiful incidents really. So I will sing one song. Will that do now?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yes. आम है आज भी तेरे जलवे, आम है आज भी तेरे जलवे, हर कोई देख सकता नहीं है, आम है आज भी तेरे जलवे, हर कोई देख सकता नहीं है, आम है आज भी तेरे जलवे, हर कोई देख सकता नहीं है, आम है आज भी तेरे जलवे, आम है आज भी तेरे जलवे, हर कोई देख सकता नहीं है, सबकी आंखों पे पर्दे पड़े हैं, सबकी आंखों पे पर्दा पड़ा है, तेरे चेहरे पे पर्दा नहीं है, सबकी आंखों पे पर्दा पड़ा है, तेरे आंखों पे पर्दा नहीं है। I will in short explain the meaning of it. The poet is by name Anwar. There is speciality about this poet. He has very touching songs and very simple language. It's not very deep and high language. Because in a simple language, he gives a very beautiful thoughts. Now what he says that Aam hai aaj bhi tere jalve. Your glory is manifest. It is not hidden. It is open. But unfortunately, everybody cannot see it. That glory, in spite of the fact that is open to the whole public, it is everywhere. It is manifesting everywhere. Your beauty and glory. But everybody is not capable of seeing it. What is the reason? The reason is सबकी आंखों पे पर्दे पड़े हैं. Everybody has got a veil over their eyes, but there is no veil on your face. There is no veil on your face. There is a veil on the eyes of the people. In another song, the poet says little different from the thought which is expressed here. In that, the poet says, दैरो हरम के झगड़े तेरे छिपने से पड़े. दैरो हरम means the churches and mosques and then mandirs and all that. They are fighting with each other. Why this fighting is there? दैरो हरम के झगड़े तेरे छिपने से पड़े. You have hidden yourself. You have gone behind the curtain. That is the reason why these people are fighting amongst themselves. दैरो हरम के झगड़े तेरे छिपने से पड़े, वरना तू पर्दा हटाए तो तू ही तू हो जाए. If you remove that veil, it will be you and you and you everywhere. Which thought is correct? This one or that? आम है आज भी तेरे दिल में, हर कोई देख सकता नहीं है, सबकी आंखों पे पर्दे पड़े हैं, तेरे चेहरे पे पर्दा नहीं है, सबकी आंखों पे पर्दा पड़ा है, तेरे चेहरे पे पर्दा नहीं. सोच लो दिल लगाने से पहले लोग बदनाम कर देंगे तुमको. सोच लो दिल लगाने से पहले लोग बदनाम कर देंगे तुमको, लोग बदनाम कर देंगे तुमको. प्यार को चाहे जितना छुपा लो, प्यार को चाहे जितना छुपा लो, ये छुपाने से छुपता नहीं है. प्यार को चाहे जितना छुपा लो, ये छुपाने से छुपता नहीं है. when you choose the path of love, before choosing, think twice, because people will defame you. सोच लो, दिल लगाने से पहले लोग बदनाम कर देंगे तुमको. प्यार को चाहे जितना छुपा लो, in whatever way you may have hide your love for anybody, for your master or God. If you try to hide, it is not going to be. It will open out itself, and people will start blaming you. The next stanza is, लोग चलते हैं कांटों से बचकर, लोग चलते हैं कांटों से बचकर, मैं बचाता हूँ फूलों से दामन, मैं बचाता हूँ फूलों से दामन, मैं बचाता हूँ फूलों से दामन. इस कदर खाए हैं मैंने झोंके, इस कदर खाए हैं मैंने झोंके, अब किसी पे भरोसा नहीं है. इस कदर खाए हैं मैंने धोखे, अब किसी पे भरोसा नहीं. What he says is, people are saving themselves from the thorns, whereas I am taking care of these flowers. I am remaining away from the flowers. People are remaining away from thorns, whereas I am remaining away from flowers. The reason is because in my life I have been deceived several times. That is why I don't have faith in anybody, anything now. Even not in the flowers, not in the thorns. The last stanza is, ये मोहब्बत नहीं है तो क्या है, ये अकीदत नहीं है तो क्या है, ये मोहब्बत नहीं है तो क्या है, ये अकीदत नहीं है तो क्या है, ये अकीदत नहीं है तो क्या है. उस पे हम जान देते हैं अनवर, उस पे हम जान देते हैं अनवर, जिसको आंखों से देखा नहीं है, उस पे हम जान देते हैं अनवर, जिसको आंखों से देखा नहीं है. The beautiful stanza last. I told you, this Anwar. In a very simple words, he tells a very big theory. What he says that whatever I say now, is it not a faith? It is not a conviction. It is not a belief. Why I say so? Because we are dedicating our lives for the one whom we have never seen up to this time. We have not seen God, but we are ready to die for him. Such a beautiful how everything is contained in that two lines.
Pratap ji, can you say that again?
ये मोहब्बत नहीं तो क्या है, ये अकीदत नहीं तो क्या. This is मोहब्बत. ये मोहब्बत नहीं तो क्या है, ये मोहब्बत नहीं तो क्या, ये अकीदत नहीं तो क्या. This is faith, this is a belief, right. This is a conviction. What else is this? This is faith. What is faith? One we have not seen, जिसको उस पे हम जान देते हैं अनवर. अनवर is the poet. उस पर हम जान देते हैं अनवर, जिसको आंखों से देखा नहीं. आपने अपनी जान उस पर निछावर करते हैं, but we have not seen him. All the people searching for God, they are doing the same thing. Yeah. Blindly, they are just following something which is called God.
Yeah.
The medium of masters is because of this. That is a masters, they make it easy for us to reach that particular, that final goal.
Beautiful.
So this is all for today's session. Would you have Aarti?
Of course.
Anyone has anything to
Any questions,
say?
anybody? Yeah.
Any say or question? I don't think so.
No, not today, I guess, at this time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. So we conclude.
Okay, I mean,
What
it's late for you too, right? I mean, you may want to rest. It's already
Jahan Kalpana.
okay.
All right.
There it is.
All right. All right. आपका हुकुम सर आंखों पर कहती हूँ.
You know what that means, Rosalie?
No.
आपका हुकुम सर आंखों पर is your order is it will be high up there. I am going to honor it. Your command.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
जहाँ कल्पना शब्द में पहुँचे ऐसे अपनों महिमा दिव्य सनातन परम दयाघन दिव्य सनातन परम दयाघन हे जगदोद्धारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो धूप दीप चंदन चरसाना भोग लगाना फूल चढ़ाना तुमरा ही तुमको लौटाना काहे बड़ाई करूं मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो सकल निधि के तुम कारण हो सकल विश्व तारनहारे हो तुम सम और नहीं तुम ही हो हे सत अवतारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो सकल चराचर माया माया भी तो तुम्हारी छाया तुमरा अंकन कोई पाया तुम अनंत करो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो सकल जब जो नहीं जाने महिमा तुम्हारी क्या पहचाने जो कुछ भी कहते अनजाने गुण गाते तुम्हारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो सीमा नाही तुम्हारी कृपा को क्या कोई दे सकता प्रभु तुमको भीख तुम्हें दो प्रेमी जनों को नित्य तुम्हें सुमेरो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो दिव्य सनातन परम दया घन दिव्य सनातन परम दया घन हे जगदोद्धारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो मेरे मन आरती स्वीकारो अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
और मेहर बाबा की जय।
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hey,
So,
Baba.
yeah, unless there are questions, we'll give Pratapji some rest so he can come back and speak to us next week. And
yes
so,
that
I like that you talked about Gustaji. I wanted to know more about Gustaji. Yeah, thank you.
no, very beautiful story. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there are a lot of funny stories. One more thing I heard also was Gustaji would tell stories very animatedly
yes.
in silence. Yeah. And some people used to say that he was so eloquent in that storytelling. So if you remember any more stories, you can share it next time. Yeah.
But he used to cut jokes also. He used to narrate jokes. Yes.
Yeah.
Pratap,
So,
Very
yeah.
lovable question.
Ralph has a question, I think.
Yes, please.
I just barely caught when you said there was someone, one of the perfect masters, who kept a picture of Gustaji and would garland it. Who was that? Who was that? Who did that?
That Ralph, that Baba's Pratapji, I think, said it was Baba who used to garland him in the hut on the Ferguson Road. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Ferguson Road. That Baba was staying in Jhopadi hut. In that hut, there was a picture which Baba had displayed on the wall, and Baba would every day garden that picture. So
wow.
see the spiritual connection one cannot imagine.
Yeah.
So, Pratapji, before you go, one last question from me.
Of course, of course.
See, like
By
with Erich, Baba said, "You're my Peter," and with Bhavji, he said, "John." Did he say anything about Gustavji also?
Gustaji, the same thing which I told that I have lost my companion.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
very powerful. Yeah.
I don't remember any
Hmm.
other remark about, but that is very significant in the sense that
Yeah.
Baba had dropped his
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Baba
Yeah.
dropped his tears, and that Baba said specifically that I never dropped tears, but I
Wow.
wept to, because on death of Taji I wept because not because of I mean Gustaji was one of some other people all the, but because I have lost my companion.
Oh,
That companionship must be pointing to the silence which both were observing.
yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the early days, people used to tell us that Gustaji was very talkative. That is why Baba is giving you silence. But you don't take it authentic, but people used to say so.
Okay.
Wait. What year did Gustaji pass away? What year?
57, 58, around that time.
Yes, no, 58. No, Guruprasad after 58. Must be 59,
Oh,
around about 59, 60. Because Baba was in Guruprasad. Baba started coming to Guruprasad. Baba started regularly coming to Guruprasad after 1958 Savas, gents and ladies Savas. After that, Baba has came and stayed in Guruprasad. So we were sitting in Guruprasad, only that time Baba said this. So that must be definitely after 58.
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks, Pratapji.
Thank you.
Yeah, so beautiful. So I mean, such a treasure, all these stories. So,
Thank my
so,
pleasure.
Papa.
In fact, I also enjoy so much. I very much enjoy.
Jai Baba.
It, what you decide next time, just give me message through Ganesh, just one day early.
Right. So, Rosalie, you have any particular Mandali member or somebody you want Pratapji to talk about next time?
Well, your choice, Pratapji, but
Yeah.
yeah, your choice. But
Pratapji, we will leave it to you because every story is beautiful. So
yeah.
for us, it's wonderful time. That's it.
And you know, things will come. However, if we did mention a Mandali, then things might trigger his mind. So I can't think right now. You know, they're all important. You know, the Mandali are all important. Yeah, yeah. And I appreciate your enjoyment, like your enjoyment of Gustaji. I love when you laugh. You remind me of Adi K when he would laugh. He just really enjoyed things on some level, and it's quite delightful, you know, to share that laughter. Yeah.
Today, excuse me, but prior to you coming onto the Zoom meeting this morning, we read a story about an argument between Baidul and Kaka over regarding their care of Mus. And it was a very funny story that Baba enjoyed, Baba enjoyed the argument.
Yes.
And that might be, I don't think we know too much about Baidul.
Yeah.
And he was one of the ones to finish the new life with Baba. And Kaka may have, had he not had heart attacks, but I don't know.
Baba used to enjoy two types of stories, humorous stories, but two types. One is vegetarian and one is non-vegetarian.
And he would ask you to go out of Guruprasad
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happened once to you. Baba really, one cannot predict what will be next moment. Who will be this scapegoat for him? One cannot imagine. He's such a lovely person, by my God.
Yeah. Sanobar is asking about Kakabaria. Next time when you get a chance, you can help us narrate some stories about Kaka.
All right.
And,
All
yeah. And Ralph mentioned some other name, Baidul, right? Ralph
Baidul,
wanted to know about Baidul.
I
So,
have a question, Pratapji, of things you would sing for Mera after Baba dropped his body, because she was very grieved, of course. What you would sing to her?
Hmm.
so Pratapji, if it is late for you, please, you can always stop at this point. And Rosalie will remember her question, right?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
remember.
she'll jot it down and ask you next time. But at this time, thank you so much, Pratapji. And Gopi also has joined just now. I mean,
Fine.
Gopi is here. He just joined. Yeah. And so before we leave, there.
Yes, Gopi.
Jai Baba Kaka. I'm in
Jai
Mehrabad.
Baba.
So, Jai Baba to all of you from Mehrabad.
Yeah.
Where you are sitting? Hello.
Hello, Kaka.
Some little problem in the audio.
Yeah.
Yes.
The reception is generally good these days, even in MPR. So I
MPR.
guess he must be in one of the rooms, but he cannot speak loudly. So we should excuse him. So before we go, let's all take Baba's name 3 times.
Yes, please. Thank you. Jai.
Avatar, Meher, Baba ki Jai. Avatar, Meher, Baba ki Jai. Avatar, Meher, Baba ki Jai.
Jai Baba.
Thanks again. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Good night, all. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Mehedamana
Thank you. Thank you, Baba.
arati swikaro Mehedamana